Okay, Tashidale again. This is Latin Yamata Rinpoche, so many of you know me. You may have heard about me. So here I just want to also make an announcement that in coming months that I'm going to introduce and teach a little deeper in the sense of practice of the Dzogchen. And recently I have finished, and also it is being now out through Amazon, through the different sources that you can get the book, which is called The Inner Mirror, which is just recently inaugurated by His Holiness the 34th Mary Tinzi, the spiritual head, when he visited at Yeru Burn Center in Minneapolis, Emily. So, and now it's open, so I'm very happy to say that I got many responses, feedbacks from different countries and also different students from the US as well. So several of them have says they are now almost ending second time reading, which they enjoyed very much. I mean, which they got a very positive and sense of helpful and understandable, helpful, and it's exactly what they are looking for. So which encourages me very much and to put effort such, because I walk for many years during my travel, during my teachings in between breaks and so on. So that's very good. So therefore I thought maybe it would be good for larger audience to benefit, and like to give this teaching in Yeru, Los Angeles, California. The time will be announced soon, because in order to do that, I would say I know many of my students and friend Pombo Sangha members from the different groups, Sanghas, and many of them who have already got preliminary practice Ngondro. But I would like to remind and encourage them, don't let yourself being a satisfying say that I have attended one or two or the three session of the Ngondro teaching, but rather I would say look back yourself and ask questions. When we say Ngondro, there is 9 preliminary practices. Out of that, how much you have seriously practiced and how much it make you some kind of inner awakening or understanding, even some kind of realization through those practices. If so, what makes those practices difference then and before and then, after you felt deep inside of awakening. So that way, those people who have not such, I would advise them, go through my first book, The Opening the Door to Burn, and also for that preparation, I'm also planning to give, soon you will have announcement at the Yeru Door to Burn, podcast teaching or live teaching. About the Ngondro, I would like to go through or an online courses of Ngondro so that you are well or better prepared on my teaching there, on my second book, which is about Dzogchen, and which would make you much more meaningful and helpful to to connect those the preliminary practice into, and also when we will talk about Dzogchen. So these things, preliminary practice is never have a limit of time, that for how many years of since you enter into the burn world that you should stick around the Ngondro, and then you kind of upgrade yourself and you don't need to think about Ngondro. There's no such Ngondro. Ngondro is beginning, Ngondro is also an end of your practice, means the final attainment. That day you don't need Ngondro. And the final achievement of the Dzogchen practice, that day you don't need Ngondro. Other than that, every single practice you are practicing in Ngondro, it's through all the part of your practice of the practice in the burn, till we achieve the enlightenment. Every practice is so important, valuable, precious, equally important as Semgye, as a Laminaljo, as a Ngondro, as a realization of impermanence, as a merit accumulation, mandala, and so forth. These all are equally, and these are inseparable in essence. The practice when you become great Dzogchen yogi, when you become at the final stage of your practice path to achieve the enlightenment, still your practice of Ngondro is the what it makes inseparably foundation of all this practice. Even you don't realize, without that there's no way, such as like a Semgye, warm-hearted or generation of enlightened mind. In Sanskrit they call bodhicitta, right? It is dedication for self and dedication mainly to benefit all other sentient beings. That your practice is aimed to practice to benefit them when you get enlightened, because you are now fully in capacity. Otherwise, in a practice path, when we are in the path of practice, we are not that fully capable as much as we are, and we will be in when we attain the final statement of achievement. So therefore, till that, for example, Laminaljo, there's no such Buddha, there's no such Buddha have gone through without teacher. There's no such a yogi have gone through and achieved realization and become yogi without teachers and without keeping a highly relationship with a teacher. And that also, teacher, so-called teacher themselves also cannot be a teacher and become a realized and practitioner and to teach or able to teach. It's only from their masters, their teachers. With that, every wisdom you gain and experience in your practice, daily practice, it's all from the origin source of your teacher. And that is why each practice of preliminary are, don't feel shy to think, oh, I am at 15 years of students of the burn from this master, that master, and now if I go back to Ngondro, I feel a little bit down and embarrassing in the society that I'm practicing Ngondro, because I met several of, not only several, really quite good number of the practitioners thinking, oh, I have this and that. But in real, you have to check yourself. How much do you have essence of realization of each of these Ngondro practice? Then, if you real think, maybe you can say, I'm a little bit embarrassing myself. I have been engaged so-called 15 years, 20 years, but I even don't know, spontaneously almost you can say 9 preliminary practice are this. Even names are new to you. So how much do you think how much you are wasting your time? Because you will not able to reach anywhere without having good ground and realization of practice of preliminary. You're having good preliminary foundation is the opening and yourself a door to the higher understanding of the true essence of the teaching of Burn. So therefore, this is I am offering to those who are seriously valuing the practice of preliminary and understand the value. So I would advise, once time you can get on the online teaching of preliminary, get to prepare it, come with questions, put yourself into practice a little bit deeper in the preliminary practice. Then come to the teaching of the Dzogchen in Los Angeles, Yeru, Los Angeles. And I will based on my second book, The Inner Mirror, which is about the Dzogchen. There are things that we can go through. So that is, I would like to offer you an opportunity, and also it's my advice, because I was requested for the teaching of this because of they want to have teachings on basis on my second book, The Inner Mirror. So I hope people who are listening value and understand the importance of Ngondro. If you look it through, unfortunately we may have not very much sources how the great yogis of Dzogchen, how those great masters of the past who have even achieved the rainbow body, every one of them, their one main practice was also the practice of preliminary to make them understand deeper level of Dzogchen. So likewise, we are also same thing following the path of these great masters and yogis to reach in the same destination where they have reached. This is how the path we need to go through. So keep in mind, if you feel like making sense what I'm talking, and if you feel like this something meant to you, so think about yourself to reserving the space and the time so that you can have this opportunity. But whoever willing to join the teaching, I would really seriously advise get online teaching and make refresh, even you can say refresh those who have already received several times of the preliminary practice. If new, get ready and come there, it will make much more sense and it will make your life productive in the teaching, and you will have a new sense of teaching value and understanding. Thank you.